Welcome to the enchanting world of Halloween. Today we're embarking on an exhilarating journey through time, unearthing the ancient customs, spiritual transformations, and lively celebrations that have shaped one of history's most cherished holidays. Did you know Halloween's roots stretch back over 2,000 years? Join us as we unveil the intriguing connections between age-old rituals and the Halloween customs we cherish today. Let's travel back to the magical realms of the Celts, who once roamed the lush landscapes of present-day Ireland, the UK, and northern France. For them, November 1st wasn't just another day, it was the dawn of a new year. This was a significant moment symbolizing the end of the harvest and the onset of dark, chilly winter nights. But here's where it gets spooky. The night before the new year, October 31st, was known as Samhain. It was a mystical festival where the boundary between the living and the dead reportedly faded away. Can you imagine the excitement and fear this brought? The Celts believed that the spirits of the departed would return to Earth, and not all of them came with friendly intentions. So how did the Celts protect themselves? They engaged in fascinating rituals. They lit massive bonfires which served multiple purposes, providing warmth, a place for communal gathering, and a means to ward off evil spirits. These bonfires were often fueled by the bones of sacrificed animals and the very crops that marked their harvest. Additionally, the Celts made heartfelt offerings to their gods, seeking protection not just for themselves, but also for their beloved families and livestock during the harsh winter ahead. As the lively festivities sprang to life, revelers transformed into fantastical creatures, donning costumes crafted from animal skins and heads. This age-old practice wasn't just for show. It was a clever way to confuse spirits, keeping them from recognizing the living among them. This act of disguise fostered a sense of camaraderie and communal spirit, making the festival all the more enchanting. Now let's talk about the Druids. These revered Celtic priests played a pivotal role during Samhain, acting as the vital link between the living and the spirit realm, with a deep belief that the barrier separating worlds grew thin on this magical night. The Druids engaged in rituals that allowed them to commune with the departed and glimpse into the future. They astutely observed the night sky and interpreted the signs of nature, seeking wisdom from the spirits to guide their community through the uncertainties that lay ahead. For them, divination was not just a sacred duty, it was a lifeline for the tribe. Fast forward to 43 AD, when the vast Roman Empire swept into Celtic lands, intertwining Roman customs with ancient Celtic traditions in a mesmerizing cultural fusion. One notable Roman celebration was Feralia, a day dedicated to honoring the deceased, occurring in late February. This heartwarming ritual of remembrance resonated deeply with the Celtic beliefs surrounding Samhain. Over time, elements of Feralia began to intertwine with Samhain, birthing a richly layered celebration of life, death, and the afterlife. But there's even more. The Romans also celebrated Pomona, the goddess of fruits and trees, in early November. This joyous harvest festival introduced the apple, a delightful symbol linked to Pomona, paving the way for traditions that continue to entertain us today, like bobbing for apples. This playful activity not only connects us to agricultural roots, but also offers a cheeky nod to Pomona's influence. As the Romans adapted various Celtic customs, they wove a vibrant tapestry of festivities that eventually shaped the Halloween we cherish today. As Christianity spread throughout Europe, the Church sought to replace pagan festivals with Christian celebrations. This effort was part of a broader strategy to convert pagans by integrating familiar customs into the new faith. In 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV established All Saints' Day, originally celebrated in May, to honor Christian martyrs and saints. This was a pivotal moment, transforming reverence for the dead into a Christian narrative. But here's the twist. By the 9th century, the date for All Saints' Day was moved to November 1st, conveniently coinciding with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. This clever shift allowed the Church to beautifully meld existing pagan traditions with new Christian ones. October 31st, the eve of All Saints' Day, became known as All Hallows' Eve, which eventually evolved into the Halloween we recognize today. Additionally, in 1000 AD, the Church introduced All Souls' Day on November 2nd, dedicated to the faithful departed. This three-day observance, known as Hallowmas, or the Feast of All Hallows, combined both the reverence of the dead and community spirit. These traditions emphasized the importance of remembering the departed, Nurturing a sense of community among the living, they provided a time for reflection, comfort, and remembrance. During the Middle Ages, a charming practice known as souling became popular, where people would go from house to house singing for soul cakes in memory of the dead. This delightful tradition connects closely with today's Halloween customs. Think of it as the original trick-or-treating. Kids would recite prayers for the departed in exchange for sweet treats. This beautiful fusion of Christian and pagan traditions during that era shaped how we celebrate Halloween in the centuries that followed. In early America, Halloween wasn't widely celebrated, primarily due to the strict beliefs of the Puritans, who regarded many festive activities as frivolous and even sinful. The focus on hard work and piety left little room for the lively celebrations associated with Samhain and other pagan traditions. As time went on, however, cultural influences began to mingle, giving rise to new celebrations. Early festivities in the colonies included play parties, which were public events that celebrated the harvest. These gatherings featured ghost stories, fortune-telling, and various forms of mischief-making, reflecting a growing interest in the supernatural and the macabre. By the mid-1800s, significant social changes were underway in the United States, largely due to mass immigration. Irish and Scottish newcomers fleeing the potato famine brought with them a treasure trove of Halloween customs that would breathe new life into the holiday. One of the standout traditions was trick-or-treating, rooted in the Scottish and Irish practice of guising. Children would dress up in costumes and go door to door, performing songs or reciting verses in exchange for treats. The revival of these customs not only reinvigorated Halloween, but also transformed it into a more community-focused celebration where people could come together, share stories, and enjoy the festive atmosphere. The first documented instance of guising in North America appeared in 1911 in Ontario, with the phrase "trick or treat" making waves by 1917. Interestingly, while this phrase is common in North America today, in the early days in Ireland, kids would say "help the Halloween party." As these customs became entrenched in American culture, Halloween began to evolve into a widely celebrated holiday. It became a time for communities to bond over shared traditions, paving the way for the modern festivities we enjoy today. By the 1920s and 30s, Halloween transformed into a vibrant community event, complete with parades, parties, and public festivities. Towns began organizing large celebrations, incorporating elements like costume contests and festive gatherings that encouraged neighbors to come together. These community-focused celebrations marked a significant shift from the more solitary practices of earlier centuries. In 1919, historian Ruth Edna Kelly contributed to the holiday's lore with her book, The Book of Halloween, which discussed Halloween festivities, including trick-or-treating. By the 1930s and 40s, the phrase "trick or treat" became a familiar call echoing through neighborhoods across the United States. Families would prepare their homes with decorations, and children, dressed in costumes ranging from traditional ghosts to popular characters, would venture out into their neighborhoods, knocking on doors for treats. This enchanting practice not only sparked creativity, but also fostered a true sense of community spirit. And guess what? Trick-or-treating has spread to other countries as well. In Mexico, for example, children say, "Me da mi calaverita," which translates to, "Can you give me my little skull?" referring to sweet skulls made of sugar or chocolate. Trick-or-treating has spread far beyond its Celtic origins. And this tradition isn't just limited to North America and Europe. The tradition has crossed borders, with children in parts of Asia participating in similar door-to-door festivities, illustrating that the joy of community celebration knows no bounds. Digging deeper into history, we find roots of trick-or-treating dating back to classical antiquity. The ancient Greek writer Athenaeus recorded a delightful custom from Rhodes, where children dressed as swallows, singing for food and playfully threatening trickery if refused. Today, Halloween stands as the second largest commercial holiday in the United States, with Americans spending over $6 billion annually on costumes, candy, decorations, and party supplies. Retailers prepare months in advance, showcasing an array of spooky merchandise, from elaborate costumes to themed decorations. This commercialization has turned Halloween into a multi-billion-dollar industry, reflecting its evolution from ancient rituals to a modern celebration of creativity and community. As you prepare to celebrate Halloween, take a moment to appreciate the rich tapestry of history and culture that has woven together to create this holiday we hold dear today. From the Celts to the Romans and the influence of Christianity, each thread tells a story of community, reverence, and celebration. So whether you're carving a pumpkin, dressing up as your favorite monster, or simply enjoying the spooky atmosphere, remember that Halloween has a long, rich history. Be sure to like and subscribe for more creepy history facts. Happy haunting!